Good morning, Duck. Morning, Stanley. Welcome back to the yard. Thanks, but it's only for one day. We've got some supplies to take back to Kirk Ronan, so I'm spending the night here. How's it going with the yard? It's going wonderful, Stanley. It contains all I need in order to carry out my small tricks. But I must say, even though you left it a bit messy, it was still a very respectable system you had going on there. Why, thank you, Duck. I guess working 4 years in a busy harbor was worth something. You make of that what you will. Personally, they were wrong to keep you there for so long without doing anything else. But the past is the past. They've apologized and made up for it. So now we focus on the future. Indeed. Speaking of which, I hope you haven't gotten too invested in this yard since you're moving next week. Don't worry, I didn't forget about it. I have a lot of systems, so I've kept myself from using the more sophisticated ones until we move to Tidmouth. Sounds logical, but I've heard from Topham that you're doing a wonderful job with the yard, and hats up for that. I was starting to get a bit bored with that job. No need to thank me, Stanley. Given your situation, it was completely understandable that you wanted to go out a bit more. I suppose so. Anyway, I'll drop this off and go to the sheds. You joining? I will in a bit. Just gotta do a few more things before I call it a night. Very well. See you later. Later, Stanley. Four, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. 2 for the first train, 2 for the second, and 3 for the last. I think everything is in place then. Driver? I think the same thing, Duck. Everything is looking as it should. Thankfully too, it's getting late. We should probably head back to the sheds. I agree. Right, let's see what we can do about this. Three, 4, 5. Right, that can be for the produce wagons. They need a bit of space. Already got the general goods by the upper level, mining products by the 4 tracks, fish by its loading station, and coal wagons at their respected pier. Everything seems to be adding up. Well, with that said, I suppose we can start moving in now. Hello, Duck. Oh, hello, Stanley. How are things? Good, good. Construction's moving along. That's good to hear. So, what brings you all the way to Tidmouth? Well, we were to borrow some coaches from here so we can have them for testing the rails. Oh yeah, I remember now. Well, with regards to that, you're a bit early. They won't be ready for another 10 minutes or so. That's fine. I can wait a bit. But I suppose this trip also gives me a chance to check up on how things are going here. Are you settling into the yard well? Oh, things are going splendidly here. The setup is just right. My systems are working perfectly and we've got a lot of space. A very impressive yard, I have to admit. Well, I heard somewhere that they took heavy inspiration from Paddington. Well, if that's the case, I suppose it makes sense. After all, the Great Western Way is the proper way. Indeed. So these goods wagons are set up in blocks, roughly in line with the average quantity of goods. So instead of having to assemble a train from scratch, I'm giving myself a little head start. Wow, that's very clever. Simple, but very clever. And pointless. Oh, beg pardon, Thomas, you must remember that it's incredibly rude to talk with food in your mouth. Oh yeah? How's that fresh cut coming along? At least mine was deserved. I heard the railway had to cover for the station master's breakfast. Which is kinda stupid when thinking about it. I don't think so. It seems like a fair deal, especially when considering that it was out of their control. Or rather, out of your control. Says the engine who couldn't control a small rig of trucks. I was saving people from great risk. You put people in it. What do you want anyway? Did you come all the way over here to tell me that my systems were pointless? Yes, actually, it's the only reason to why I came all the way over here. No, stupid, I've got a passenger train. But since I was over here, I thought I'd spare myself the time to come to you and comment on the fact that your setup is completely unnecessary. In what ways? It's way too sophisticated. You care so much about the small details, when in reality, it doesn't need to be so complicated. Just keep the wagons as they come, and sort them when you need them. It has worked for me in the past. Thomas, I don't think you understand how important the Great Western practices are when it comes to keeping this yard in order. The system that you described might work in certain cases, but not here. Here, you wouldn't get the time to sort the wagons as you need them. You have to come up with compromises. That to me sounds like you're too slow to do it the regular way, and the regular way is always best, as it means that most are doing it. You're saying it like you know all about shunting. I doubt that you'd actually be able to keep this yard in order. Oh, I most certainly would be able to. Too easy. You just gotta have agility and confidence. And you have neither. Agility. An E2. Yeah, right. For the millionth and first time, I'm not an E2. I'm an E2R. Same thing to me. Flying high over there with your knowledge, Mr. Know-It-All. You're standing there thinking that you're the smartest of both of us. Right, Thomas, I think it's time for you to get ready for your return trip.
Hey,
yep,
Stanley,
how long now?
what are you doing?
You have to get
I
going.
wasn't finished.
Yes, no,
Come on,
no,
I've got
don't
15
think about
minutes
it.
to go.
Gotta go. What are you thinking right now? Well, I'm thinking about actually asking Topham on whether or not Thomas can try this shunting thing out. Careful with your thoughts there, Duck. I know, I'm only considering it for now. Well, if you do decide to go ahead with it, it would only have to be for one day. Sounds fair. He would just need one day to ruin this whole setup. Well, then again, you don't know how good he is at shunting. I may not. But I have a good idea about it. Hello, Doc. Oh, hello, sir. What brings you over here? Well, a few things. First of all, I want to fully acknowledge your work these past few months. I've been a bit busy, so I haven't had time to fully take a look at your work. But I must say that it's top-notch. Your professionalism is subpar with anything I've ever seen. Truly magnificent work you've done here. Why, thank you, sir. That's very kind of you. No problem, Doc. On that note, though, I want to ask you something. What would that be, sir? Aren't you tired from working so hard? I mean, you've been going pretty hard ever since you came here. You don't think you need a break or anything? Well, actually, sir, funny you should say that. I have actually considered maybe wanting a little break. This is quite tiring after all. Well, I'll allow you to have a break if you want one. Do you have any preferences? Well, preferably it would be something other than shunting, of course. That's understandable. Anywhere particular you want to go? Well, I've always wanted to go on the Farquhar branch. I've heard it's very beautiful. It is indeed. I can understand the desire. And I think that would be perfectly fine. You can switch with Thomas so he can take care of the shunting, and you can take care of his work. That sounds wonderful, sir. Thank you. No problem, Duck. I'll go make the arrangements right away. Right, let's see how he can get along with this. Morning, Thomas. Poor thing. Can't even keep the yard in shape without burning out. What a shame. It is a shame indeed. I guess my strategies didn't work as I'd hoped. Made things way too complicated. I'll need this break to rethink my strategy for shunting. No need to rethink it that much. Just do what I've been telling you to do for the past bit. It's really not that hard. Maybe not. But I suppose you'll be able to prove that to me. Just you wait. Well, thank you very much, Thomas. Yeah, whatever. Let's just get on with things. Well, how hard can this be? Morning, Doc. Good morning, Toby. On your way back to Tidmouth? Yes, my time here's over now. It's been a very nice day. It's been nice to have you here, Duck. Although I think it's a good idea that you get back to the yard. Why so? Well, based on what I've been hearing from the other engines, Thomas is not doing a very good job with the shunting. Is that so? Well, in that case, I better get back to Tidmouth at once. Seems like your little trick worked. Indeed. He did deserve it, though. Yeah, I guess he did. But I do have to let James pass by before I leave. Seems like he's been delayed. Deary me, James. It's not like you to be late. What happened? Well, Thomas is not doing a good job with the yard. I had to help him out before I could leave with this train. Interesting. Well, I guess I better get back to Tidmouth and sort things out. Oh, please do. And that can't happen fast enough. Very well. I'll get going right away. Hello, Thomas. Hello, Doc. How was the shunting going? Terrible. Absolutely terrible. Oh dear. How did that happen? I was never given a chance to fully shunt certain sections before I had to be somewhere else to shunt. Well, to me, that sounds like your method wasn't optimized enough. Well, Thomas, I hope you learned a lesson. Yeah, I guess I have. How's the branch, by the way? All good. Very quiet and cozy. Annie and Clarabelle are well too. They're waiting for you, for the return journey to Farquhar. That sounds nice. I'd rather work on the branch than here. I can imagine. I'm sorry I wasn't able to keep up with the yard's efficiency. I hope that I haven't made it too bad for you. It's alright, Thomas. I can have this fixed by the end of today. Really? I had some time to think about it. Remember? Yeah, I guess you did. Well, in that case, I suppose it'd be best for me to just get ready for my return journey. I think that'd be a smart move. Oh, the amusement. That sure taught him something.